Do people believe that albinos bring bad luck to the community? I put out the question to you guys. Does your community believe that albino is bad luck? Albinism is just a mutation of certain genes that affect the amount of melanin in your body produces. I don't think it is evil. It's just a skin defection. But for the people of Coca Kingdom, it was like a taboo. Here goes this beautiful story with nice lesson to learn from it all. A long time ago, in the village of Umuchu, Kuka community and kingdom, there lived a very beautiful tailor called Chioma. Chioma sold the most beautiful fabrics in town. She was kind and was always smiling. Chioma had three beautiful daughters. As a talented seamstress, she made lovely clothes not only for herself and her children, but also for others. In fact, Chioma was named Chioma with the golden heart. She made people around her laugh. Chioma's shop was close to her house. In her shop, you will get to see her weaving and sewing while her children plays around. People go about doing their businesses. In fact, she had a family of happiness, a happy home, if you may call it. Something now happened in the village that changed everything. In fact, turned Chioma's life around. Chioma got pregnant and she was so happy. People rejoiced with her. Her husband was so happy that he was going to have another child. They had prayed for her safe delivery. In fact, the villagers loved her so much that they gathered to say prayers for her on a daily basis. On the day of Chioma's giving birth, she went into serious labor. 12 good hours of labor. And at the end of the day, she gave birth to a very beautiful baby who was quite different because her hair was golden and her skin was whitish. Chioma was happy seeing her little girl. Though the baby was an albino, she didn't mind, but the villagers didn't see it that way. In fact, what they saw inside of the child was an albino who brought bad luck to the community, to the once peaceful village. How will the villagers treat her child in such a demeaning way? Let's find out more. Chioma, who named her beautiful daughter Chidera, meaning that God has written. But not everyone saw Chidera as a gift from God. When Nkem, that is Chioma's husband, saw Chidera, he was filled with great fear instead of joy. This is bad luck. This baby cannot stay with us. But Chioma's motherly instinct stepped in. How could her little child, in which she carried for 9 months, bring bad luck? Chioma refused to let go of her baby. Everybody and every baby is a gift from God, Chioma told her husband. But Nkem, Chioma's husband, told her that even if this baby is going to stay here, I do not want to see her or even see her playing with my other children. And as for Chioma's children, they were a bit confused. They didn't know what to do as of that time. They have heard whispers of villagers saying how evil the albino child is, and they have seen the way their father treated Chidera. So they kept their distance because they were afraid. But Chioma continued her tailoring work. But the once joyful house became a moody house as her husband Nkem accused little Chidera of bringing calamity and bad luck to his once happy family, saying that she brought not only bad luck to the family but also failure. In fact, more woes for Chioma as she lost customers and friends, all because of baby Chidera. People started avoiding Chioma, but nothing of that stopped her from loving her beautiful daughter, Chidera. She continued her work, not minding the negative word said about her lovely daughter. But at home, it was quite different, as anytime her husband Nkem looked at Chidera, All he saw was bad luck. Chioma's daughters refused playing with Chidera because they were worried about what people were going to say. Even in the market, businesses were no longer booming as it used to be. Chioma, who usually sells off her fabrics at the market, rarely makes sales due to the fact that people avoided her. Chidera grew up into a beautiful girl. Her eyes sparkled and her smile shone the world. But the people kept pointing fingers at her anytime she goes out. Her skin color made her different from the other children, and no children wanted to play with her. She developed a thick skin to their insult. Her mother, Chioma, was sad and unhappy about it, but she was happy that her precious daughter, Chidera, has grown up into a beautiful girl, but sad the way the villagers treated her. Though her sisters still alienated themselves from Chidera, despite her mother's plea for them to take Chidera as the sisters, but they all refused. Her father, that is Nkem, plunged more into his work. Anytime he had bad sales or bad farm produce, he points accusing fingers at Chidera. Anytime the rain didn't fall well or the sun didn't shine well, he keeps pointing accusing fingers at Chidera. Even Chidera tried to make friends, but to no avail. Anytime she goes to the stream to fetch water, children will leave her immediately. Mothers will be seen telling their children to get away from her as if she has a kind of leprosy. Even at home, her siblings didn't associate with her. She felt all alone, but she was happy she had her mother with her. Chidera learned how to sew from her mother because she was always with her mother. Her mother was proud of her progress. Chidera was kind, even to the unkind. She smiled, even when people did not smile back at her. In a world dimmed by the shadow, the breath of life extinguished it. One day, Chidera made up her mind. She decided to leave her village. A decision she made when she could no longer take it from there. She could no longer stay in a place where being herself was seen as wrong. Her mother, who was sober about her daughter's decision, but couldn't do anything about it because she knew that it was time for Chideras to go to a place where she would be wanted and loved. She felt Chideras' loneliness and wished there was something she could do. Oh mother, you have done enough. Since my birth, you have been the one shading me from these evil villagers who hated me for no fault of mine. Chidera insisted that she needed to go to a place where she would be accepted, and the next day, Chidera's mother prayed for her as she embarked on a journey to the unknown. She didn't know what the future was going to hold for her, but she was ready to take it up. Chidera traveled to a very long distance, and there she got to a new village. As she approached the village, instead of the usual angry face, people were smiling at her instead of pointing accusing fingers at her. In fact, they welcomed her with joy. No one whispered. They all saw her as a beautiful, young, hard-working lady with a kind heart. She started her tailoring, and words went across. A lot of people traveled far and far to see the maiden who made such beautiful designers' dresses. For the first time in Chidera's life, Chidera felt a sense of being wanted. People were willing to make her as friends. She was invited for dinners, events, and village activities. No one segregated her. No one spoke ill about her skin color. Chidera felt loved and felt alive again. Her circle of friends increased. Chidera used her success to keep others. Chidera became known for her kindness, just like her mother taught her. Chidera was not only accepted in the village, but she was also celebrated. Chidera started a new chapter of happiness. Among the men who admired Chidera was Udoka, the son of the village chief. Prince Udoka was kind and loved by all. He was admired by a lot of maidens, but Udoka's eyes were fixed on Chidera because not only was Chidera beautiful, but she was hardworking and kind with a good heart. Udoka disguised himself and pretended to buy some materials just to see who this Chidera is. He has heard a lot about Chidera. He had seen Chidera from afar, but he hadn't had the opportunity to talk with her one-on-one. So when he got there, they talked normally, and he saw the way Chidera talked to him. In fact, their friendship blossomed into love, built by respect and shared dreams. It was later that Prince Udoka told Chidera the truth about himself, and Chidera accepted him the way he was. And one day he asked Chidera to make him his wife. He never saw Chidera as an albino with bad luck. Rather, he saw Chidera as a maiden who is not only hardworking but also kind to his villagers. Chidera felt overjoyed, and that was when Chidera opened up to Udoka about her past and insisted on Udoka meeting his mother because, in her own words, I can't start this new journey of marriage without getting my mother's blessing. She was with me even when everybody rejected me. My mother needs to bless the union. And Udoka promised to follow Chidera back to her village. They traveled long distance, and when they got to her village, everything looked the same. The people stopped and stared with open mouth. Isn't it Chidera? Look how glowing and beautiful she looked. Who is that handsome prince? And the entourage coming to this village, they asked themselves. Chidera immediately went to her parents' house, where she met her mother. Tears filled her eyes as they hugged each other. In fact, the hug summarized everything. The mother was so happy to see her beloved daughter and the accomplishments she had achieved. In fact, she was so happy that her daughter was finally getting married to someone who didn't even see her child's complexion as bad luck, who saw who Chidera was, and also a prince. In fact, she was so overjoyed. It was later that Chidera learned that her father had passed away. She was sad, but life, they say, continues. Chidera's siblings, who had not found success or happiness, they were ashamed of themselves because of the way they treated their last sister, Chidera. But Chidera never even took it to heart. Chidera's siblings decided to also leave the village because they couldn't stay in that village anymore. They wanted to experience their own happiness, and they packed their things and left. Chidera, looking at her mother, told her mother that, "You have to come and stay with me. I can't leave you alone in this village. You have to come and help me in my own husband's house." It changed the narrative in the village. They no longer saw Chidera's skin color as bad luck. In fact, when Chidera spoke to the villagers, telling them to accept and never look down on people, everybody is special, no matter their skin color, they all agreed to what Chidera said. Chidera showed everyone that kindness heals and love wins at all costs. In fact, the villagers pleaded with Chidera to forgive them. They didn't know better, but now they have known better. Chidera left the village. Moral of this story: you don't judge anybody based on their skin color, but what comes from their heart. And sometimes, most disappointments are really blessing in disguise. If the villagers hadn't hated on Chidera, she wouldn't have the heart to have left the village and met her Prince Charming. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please kindly give this video a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button and also turn on your post notification so that whenever I upload any new video, you will be among the first to watch it. Thank you very much for watching and do have a lovely day ahead. Bye-bye.